Well, we're here talking about the most recent events in the world of politics, in the world of the American political stage. And Dara, what are we going to be speaking about today?
I think we'll be talking about how AI can prevent situations like what happened with the attempted assassination with the former president of the United States.
Good deal. So there's a lot of chatter on not just social media, but on all of the media outlets, social media or not. And part of the chatter is one, the Secret Service people do a great job, a poor job, a medium job. Was it really them who were to blame, or could we blame local law enforcement? And then the elephant in the room, Daryl, which people are saying, the conspiracy theorists, that it didn't happen, or that it was staged, or that it was planned. I have heard some people say, well, how do we know that this wasn't a person who had conspired behind closed doors? Now, as a military person, Daryl, I am curious to know what your thoughts are about, did it happen? Did it not happen? The measurements. And I know FBI is yet to interview him, but what are your unfiltered thoughts? I'm just curious.
So I want to take it a step back, Phil, and share to the audience and to everybody out there that this is not a Democrat or Republic topic or session. This is more to analyze the speculations and facts that has been portrayed out there to the, especially from the media, and what the media is pushing out there with the latest news of the attempted, assassination. So I declare myself as independent. So I'm either left or right, because
Right.
of situations where if you choose the left, you're a bad guy. If you choose the right, you're still a bad guy. So I'm in the middle of everything, as it is. I'm not speaking for you, but I wanted to share that with you and the audience of where we stand and how we want to use this video for.
Absolutely, absolutely. And thanks for bringing that up. It's very good to clarify that I am a free thinker, an independent thinker. I'm not in one of those, oh, I'm for this, I'm for that. And we're really just looking at this from a scientific, analytical, if you will, standpoint, trying to gain some clarity, talk about how AI could have come into this whole thing and how we view the facts and how we should credit Americans with common sense to begin with. So let's start off with that. So, Daryl, over to you. What do you think AI could have helped us do? Is it premature to say AI could have helped us in some things here? What do you think?
I think AI could have played a huge part in this entire event. It could have it, and I'm trying to stay away from being a conspiracy
Hmm.
theorist right now, but I, in my opinion, I feel AI was probably in some way, shape, or form being utilized from the attempted, a bad guy, if you put it that way.
Hmm.
Um, Mainly because if you go down, in history, there's a thing called subliminal influence. And it's been tested out by DARPA at the time, through advertising. When you're watching a movie, it shows like a nanosecond of eating popcorn. So
Hmm.
the influence factor probably played a huge part, to the bad guy. And
Hmm.
it could maybe, an inside job, like everyone's saying.
Hmm. That's interesting. So, based on what I perceive, if anyone had malicious intent, AI could have played a negative role. AI
Absolutely.
could play a negative role in helping, and depending on which AI, I don't want to mention any AIs because I want people freaking out over the certain labels on the brands of AI that are out there. But if one could get AI to comply, it very well could put together an entire plan similar to what we saw unfold. In the same vein, though, on the good side, just to keep a balance here, what a lot of people forget in this world of security is there could have been a more solid threat detection analysis. They could have done an AI influenced threat detection analysis to analyze vast amounts of data, the coordinates, the building positions, and could have revealed a myriad of possibilities. Now, we as humans, we're like, nah, that ain't gonna happen. And that's probably what they thought. But the worst happened. But I think with using AI can help you better mitigate risk. It could flag potential mishaps. It could probably, in analyzing your security plan, reveal to you what you're missing very easily. So I want to hope for the best and hope our security people are actually using such systems and tools. But does it look like they were, Daryl?
At some point, it was probably, yeah, just to stay away from being a conspiracy theory. There's a lot of holes, if
Mm,
within the entire event, and
mm,
this raises the question of AI. Can AI be used to prevent such an event like that? And
mm,
does AI need guardrails to
mm,
prevent an event like that?
mm-hmm.
Because if you take a look at it and take a step back, the Secret Service is one of the most prestigious
Yep.
organizations you can ever think of. It's right up there with SEAL Team Six, Special Ops. It's in that same arena. So having that event take place and occur, it's it goes up to the leadership. It
Mm,
really dissects how leadership from the top is
mm-hmm.
being used in some way from the top to the bottom. So
Absolutely.
so
Absolutely.
mhm.
I
And
mean,
speaking of understanding the human in intellectuals with that prestigious environment and record, it really boils down to how AI can help in preventing those types of events.
absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, that we're always assuming people are on the cutting edge, but maybe they're not, right? Because if superior AI systems are being used, which they should, they could potentially flag like movements, like suspicious movements. If you have like an AI system that's integrating with real-time data coming in and movements of people and keeping track on, like they were trying to keep track on this guy and they lost track of him. But AI systems interfacing with GPS systems, and human surveillance monitoring systems. I know won't like that, but we got to use AI enhanced surveillance systems. We got to be able to monitor video feeds. Like that place should have been like wired to the max camera wise. We should have been able to recognize faces in real time, track individuals across different cameras and locations. And honestly, they failed hugely in that regard because we're relying on, there's only so much a human can do, right?
Right.
So we're relying on, oh, someone saw him when they were doing the search and then he evaded them. Well, AI, a surveillance monitoring system they would have tracked that movement down. It would have tracked him down. It would have raised some alarm at the suspicion, even the devices. So let's talk about computer vision and how sophisticated it is. Computer vision could have analyzed those objects. What was he holding there? What's it called? A scanner or whatever it's called.
Yeah, he was holding a range scanner as far as how far can he go, in regards to the distance between the bullet and the president.
And that's a red flag right there. So using an AI vision, a highly intelligent AI tool, it could have helped not only keep track of the suspect, it can monitor the crowd, and it could also advise on, like, the guy who checked him, allowed him in despite having that. Well, I think they kind of backed him off, but he was still in the vicinity roaming around. After after seeing him with that device, he should have been detained for questioning.
Yes,
So
and
have you
Phil, we
blamed
can
AI?
we can dissect, this entire this this entire significance of events, but it's going to lead down to a lot of conspiracy theories. It's going to bring up: do you believe in the deep state? Do you believe in aliens? Do you believe in, you know, all the
Sure.
other things that we are always questioning? And to be honest with you, we are living in a interesting time because growing up, I'm 41 years old. I read these types of events, like
Hmm.
especially the shooting of JFK,
Yeah.
growing up as watching ET, and now we're living the entire, series of this ET, event. We're even part of the AI race,
True.
between Russia, China, India, and the US. So we're living in a very interesting time.
We are. That's for sure. I think from our initial discussions here, what we can conclude is AI systems definitely have a place in security, like huge place. There are obviously systems and tools that are in operation that no one is really talking a lot about, but in those circles, those who need them know that they exist and are using them without going into uh, too much information. But as far as can AI help mitigate such, the answer is a resounding yes. Can AI help manage such? Absolutely yes. Not only can it help with the detection, it can help with the communication and coordination. For example, during a security event, the coordination of the response teams, the routing of
Mhm.
people, managing communication channels, AI can do all that. And I'm hoping that it is already playing a part. Um, Cybersecurity threats are also a concern, although that's not a major thing in the midst of all that happened in the attempted assassination. But what about post-analysis, post-event analysis? I mean, have you done any post-event analysis, Daryl, like using AI to analyze the event?
Absolutely, Phil. I've done it the same day it actually happened. And what I did was I took a snapshot from my phone, and I did it all from my phone, using ChatGPT 4.0. I
Mm,
took a snapshot of Fox News, um, which I did not do any other news broadcast, CNN or anything like that, but I was on Fox News at the time. So, like I said, I'm still in the middle of everything, but Fox News was the one that came up. So I took a I took a snapshot of the area, that Fox News analyzed, where the shooter was at, where the Secret Service was at. And I asked ChatGPT 4.0 to help me understand the downfalls and the significant risks and issues that could have been prevented. And believe
mm,
it or not, it actually gave me a lot of information,
wow.
which is not, it was pretty accurate to the point where I really thought it was going to be really fictitious.
Hmm. Wow. Can you share any of what it stated?
So it broke down the areas of concern, um, mainly with the surveillance and the intelligence gathering, which the media talked about, the access control and screening. Of course, they talked about that as well. The public awareness, the coordination and communication between leadership and the higher leadership, in that
Mm,
arena or environment. And then, it mentioned how the prestigious organization, which is the Secret
Mm.
Service, should be preventing this event in some way. So it wasn't biased. Well, it actually is biased to me as far as the output that it gave me, but it provided simple facts,
Mm.
just by one simple question of give me the understanding of why this happened.
Yeah. GPT is definitely more open to such analyses. Gemini is just stonewall you, absolutely, and some of the other tools as well.
Yeah, and even
Uh,
Claude 3.5 Sonnet, since that's the
hmm,
top tier, large language model as far as the accuracy. And I was
hmm,
surprised that it actually gave me um, a message saying, "Can I do this at this time due to the significant events just recently happened?" So
mm,
GPT 4.0 was really open about
yeah.
providing the outputs of the questions.
Yeah, I mean, that's why it's open AI. They're not trying to hide anything. Gemini, the message from Gemini is I can't help with responses on elections and political figures right now. While I will never deliberately share something that's inaccurate, I can make mistakes. So while I work on improving, you can try Google search, it said. Well, I understand why they would program such into a tool like Gemini. I applaud ChatGPT's, the OpenAI people's openness in allowing that be fair game because I believe it's also part of training the system, just enabling it have some dialogue, some insight into what we're going through because people are looking for that use of
Hmm.
AI. So I think it's I think it's a good thing. I don't think it's bad. But as far as our viewers and people who are wondering, okay, could AI have prevented this? Of course, we just said it. AI could be used to prevent things like this. It could be used for a variety of reasons. But the post analysis, as Dell has also shared, reveals that, yeah, this is something that definitely should not have happened if the right things were done. And AI can definitely help in the future. I think it presents a great case study for the future for how to ensure this does not happen. Because all of those rooftops, they were all red flags, they were all huge risks right there. I think part of the mindset of a human is no one's going to do that, but then they did in plain sight, you know,
Right.
without getting into Joe Rogan mode. We're not going to go there today. But I think what we've shared, Daryl, is pretty substantial to give people, at least get them thinking in the right direction of what can AI do for us from a standpoint of security.
And not only that, Phil, what inspired this conversation is because the the Secret Service is one of the most prestigious organizations you can ever think of. It's hard to get into it.
Yeah.
It really is. And for a tragic event like that to happen under their watch and then
Mm.
them pointing fingers at different people, it's really amateur
Hmm.
in many different ways. And like I
Yeah.
said, that's where I'm going to stop and hold my tongue because it's going to lead to a lot of conspiracy theories, and being left or being right, and so forth. So,
Yeah. And honestly, I'll just say Americans use your common sense. We're in 2024. There's information around for you to look at and for you to vet and validate. But for people who are in denial of the event itself, I didn't say in denial of what side or acting alone. We're not even talking about any of that. We're just saying, did this event take place? And Americans have more than enough data. Those who want to believe in conspiracies, as far as whether something happened or not, you can't, it's hard to change such people's minds. But this is not a conversation about that. This is a conversation about how AI could help in security. Could it help? Could it help before? Can it help? And I think for our law enforcement friends who are watching, definitely study more about how AI can help in your unique aspect of security, because it can. And those at the helm, they need to be educated. They need to be more aware, which I hope they're getting education. AI is kind of emergent, so it's not been around for years. For us to think that everyone who is associated with, Secret Service or any form of security is AI aware is wrong. But I think this training needs to be happening. This equipping needs to be happening. So how do I see the future? This is going to sound far out, but I actually see bots coming alongside the humans and offering a higher level of surveillance, like sentinels flying over the area. This dude who did this thing used a drone to survey the area. We need to be ahead of such curves. Were we? Were we ahead of the curve?
That I'm not going to answer, Phil.
It seems like a free flying drone, unmanned, unmonitored, is a huge risk. The other time we met there, we were talking about, something Elon had said back in the day, that AI being used as a weapon. We are fortunate, Daryl, that this individual, this malicious individual, did not have or had not been able to carry out a higher level of AI influence attack. Because he wouldn't be holding an AR. It would be the drone doing the dirty work.
But you can also think about, the different types of and the different techniques of influencing a human. And I'm being very scientific and being nerdy about it when I say human, because at this point in time, AI is part of our lives. We open up Zoom, we open up Teams, you see AI. You open up Google search, you see AI. So having the human interaction in today's society is a huge part. And having AI in control, being the influencer, is a huge part, in today's
Absolutely.
events.
You're very correct. I mean, we're talking about psychological influences, but we're also talking about a direct chip, a direct implant to influence how individuals behave and act. We're not even saying that happened here, but in the future, we need to be aware of such risks, because they will come. We're talking about what you see in sci-fi. We're talking about, Bane level superhuman strength and abilities, or even super level of thinking. We are going to have more and more risks as we embrace AI, but we also need to embrace AI from the good influence standpoint, from being on our side as well. But there's definitely more to be told in this saga to come. So for our viewers, what are the main takeaways, Daryl? I'll let you wrap it up.
Main takeaways is this video is not a conspiracy theory video, and it's also not a Democratic or Republic, video. It's more just to analyze the post events and how AI can help, with this event, how it could prevent this event from happening.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you. We know that the people who are enthusiastic about this and who have the wherewithal to build systems to help counteract such events, we know that they're already seeing this as a business case. This is a business case for many of the systems and hardware alike that need to be in place, to prevent future things like this. Just think about the power of an AI operated system scanning from miles. Now, I know our folks are people in America, this, because they don't like the whole Big Brother thing. But when you're talking about an environment where lives are at risk, there needs to be that surveillance and control. And for the purpose of events like this, instead of just having the boots on the ground, a higher level of intelligence, so to speak, or I should say a more robust level of intelligence like AI, is highly advised, or will be. Maybe not now, because people think AI has come to steal their jobs. And I believe that same concern lies on even the side of security. But I see it as a partnership. I think a time's going to come where we just need to partner more with AI.
Absolutely, Phil.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Daryl. Thank you, viewers, listeners, wherever you are listening to this from. What do you think? Share your thoughts. Send in a comment. Again, we're not going to get political. If we see political commentaries, they're likely to be deleted. But thank you very much, and bye for now.